Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our webinar on COPO mapping organized by Sri Manakula Vinayagar Engineering College, an autonomous institution, Pondicherry. Now I invite the man behind all our success, Director cum Principal, Chief Coordinator of Margdarshan Scheme, Dr. VSK Venkatachalapati sir, to deliver the inaugural address. Welcome you, sir.
Good morning to all of you. So today is really a pleasureful day to welcome all the participants from all the other colleges for this Margdarshan, the seminar, the programs and COPO mapping. I am Dr. VSK Venkatachalapati, Director and Principal of Sri Manakula Vinayagar Engineering College. It's one of the best engineering college located in the Pondicherry, the state, and also an autonomous institutions with 20 years of academic excellence. It is also accredited by NAC with A grade, and all eligible the UG courses are accredited by NBA New Delhi. We are running nearly around 14 UG programs and 8 PG programs and one the PhD programs in mechanical, the streams. Under the Margdarshan scheme, we are mentoring nearly 12 institutions in Tamil Nadu. So far, we have organized 2 FTP programs and 5 seminars. So, my humble request to all the faculty members to understand why we have to get NBA accreditations. Now it becomes mandate. ASSD is always insisting every institutions to get NBA accreditations on or before 2022. It is a quality mandate for both college as well as the department. So it is a very good opportunity for all the institutions to prove their own the quality. So if you want to prove your own the quality, the various accreditations process, the teaching and learning and COPO mapping and other aspects related to the NBO, you should be well versed. Unless otherwise getting NBA, it's not so easy. To make it easy, we are initiating so many process. All the parameters, we want to give it as lectures to almost all the faculty members under the Margdarshan scheme continuously for next 4 weeks. So my humble request to all the faculty members to utilize this a very good opportunity in this COVID-19. So it is a right situations and right aspects to welcome my own the faculty member, Dr. S. Jayakumar, who is really a capable the personality in describing the COPO mapping of almost all the departments. You take any subjects, right? When the students start to read that particular subjects, he should know the importance of that particular the subjects, why he has to study that particular subjects, what is the outcome if he study well in that particular the paper. Similarly, you take any program, the individual wants to join in any of the courses, the individual should know why he has to study that particular the course. After studying that particular the programs, what is the benefit he is going to get it? So you have to tell the major objectives and the outcome of that particular the programs. So all the college should be aware in what way the curriculum and the syllabus should be prepared based on the objectives and the outcomes. With this small introductory note, I'll conclude my speech. Once again, I wish all the participants and also Dr. S. Jayakumar to take this the session very pleasureful.
So today we are in the quarantine period. I am very happy to meet you all to discuss about the importance of getting MBA for an institution, mainly the outcome-based education we are going to discuss today. So everyone know what are the different criteria present in NBA. So just to have a quick view on the different types of criteria, and then we will proceed further. So the first criteria is vision, mission, and program education objective. Second is program, curriculum, teaching, learning process. Third one is the course outcome and program outcome. Fourth one is the student's performance. Fifth one is the faculty information and its contribution. Sixth one is facilities and technical support. Seventh one is continuous improvement. Eighth one is student support systems. So ninth one. Eighth one is first year academics. And lastly, 10th one is the governance, institutional support, and finance resources. So of this all, the topic what I'm going to discuss today is the third criteria, namely course outcome and program outcome. So you might be thinking, so why I have been very particular about this topic, course outcome and program outcome? Because course outcome is a very important thing, because in the NBA, you are going to measure the outcome only. So to measure the outcome, if you are very strong in third criteria, namely the course outcome and program outcome, automatically we can fulfill all other criteria. Because first criteria is vision, mission, and program education objective that you are going to frame in line with your institution vision, mission. Course outcome. So in that part, the faculty plays a vital role, because every faculty should know what is student should know after completing the course or subject, what is going to taught in the particular. It plays a vital role. So you should frame the course outcome in such a way. Suppose we are having 5 units. For all the 5 units, you are going to prepare the course outcome. So that course outcome should be framed such a way that the student should be able to get the knowledge what he want to acquire by studying the subject. So basically for that, if you are preparing the course outcome, so you know what are the things to be taught to the students. So if you are able to sketch up what are the things to be done, automatically criteria too you can be fulfilled, namely the teaching learning process can be fulfilled. So what are the methodologies you can put forth to make the students to feel comfortable and learn the course outcome correctly. If it is so, then the students' performance in the criteria 4 will automatically increase. Then in the 7th, continuous improvement will be there. So, and again, you can give what are the support required as per in the criteria 9. So for that only I told you, this is the base for all other things. So if you are very strong enough, if a particular faculty is very strong about this subject, he is able to know what he has to put forth to the students such that he will learn the subject what is handling, then automatically all the criteria can be fulfilled. So for that only I am taking about this course outcome and program outcome. So with this introduction, we'll go further. So first let us see what is OBE. Everyone knows this. Outcome-based education is a student-centric instruction model that focus on measuring students' performance to the outcomes. So the outcome is namely the POs, what is given by the NBA, that is called as a graduate attributes. So we are going to measure the thing, how the program outcome the students has attained. So it is a student-centric process. You are going to make the students to learn the subject, the course, such that the required outcome has to be attained. For that only we are using the outcome-based education model. So outcome includes knowledge, skill, and attitudes. So in a common way, the knowledge is the information acquired to the experience or education. So as a lecturer, you are going to impart the knowledge to the students. The skill set is the ability to do something well. So if the knowledge is got, you are making the students to express their skills, namely in the lab or in the project or any other events, you are going to make the students to expose their skills. Last is the attitude. So this is a settled way of thinking. So when you got the knowledge, when you got the skills, so the attitude of the student should be such a way you should be able to excel with what he can do. For example, so if a student is able to graduate in a mechanical engineering, so now the latest concept is going on is 3D printing. So with the knowledge, what is 3D printing with the minimal exposure, the skills given to them in 3D printing. The attitude is when it's coming, graduating out, what are the things can be made out of 3D printing such that it will be helpful to the society. So your outcome should be like that. So based on the knowledge you are imparting and based on the skill is acquiring, what is going to this society? So in this point, I want to tell the faculty members, so those who are attending, so we are telling the engineering admission is going down, engineering is downstream. It is not like that. So it is our part. We have to put forth our efforts such that we have to transfer the knowledge. So the students, when you are going out of the college, should have the skills to serve the society, and they have to fulfill the societal need, because the human, now we are in a comfort zone. Everyone wants to have the utmost sophistication. So till now the sophistication is going on increasing, means the needs of engineer is going on to increase. So it is who the faculty members, including myself, we have to put forth our effort such a way to make the students to get the utmost knowledge, transfer the knowledge such that its attitude will be to develop what is the existing available thing. For example, you can take the nowadays there's advertisement in the TV for LG air conditioner. So they are telling is a inverter one, and they are also given a model that is according to number of persons in the room, you can move, you can change the capacity of the AC, namely 0.510, 110 or 1.510 like that. So this is the attitude. That is initially we had only air conditioner of 110 or 1.510 like that. But now according to a need, if there's one person, you are going to change to 0.510 like that. According to our sophistication and need, because to save the electricity is very important need at this juncture. So we are going to use the technology. So in such a way, you have to train the students to apply the knowledge and skill what is acquired in the college. So that part some lag in the some of us. So that only made making some difference in the engineering admission, all this thing. So in such a way you have to work. So for that the outcome you have to think. So the outcome plays a vital role for to increasing the engineering knowledge in among the students. So OB focus main on evaluation of the outcome of the program by stating the knowledge, skill and behavior a graduate is expected to attain upon completion of program and after 4 years of graduation. So that is the main aim. It is going to evaluate what is the knowledge, skill and behavior attained by the student. So in a OBE model, the required knowledge and skill sets for a particular engineering is predetermined and the students are evaluated for all the required parameters, namely the program outcomes. So here only we are going about what is a continuous improvement. Whether why we want continuous improvement means whether your the outcomes has been attained. If not attained, what you are going to do. So continuous improvement to get the outcome. So that is the main aim of the outcome based education. Now, what is how OBE is, whether outcome based education is measured. So the process of graduate in three parameters which are used are program educational objective, program outcome, and a course outcome. So it is represented by a picture like this. Key constitution of constituents of OBE. First is the course outcome. Upon course completion, what the student is able to attain the knowledge. Then program outcome upon graduation, what is the outcome he has attained. And program educational objective, it is few years after graduation, namely after 4 or 5 years, you are going to see what is the program education objectives attained or not. So these are the way. And then we are going to see which is, this is in line with the vision and mission of the department as well as the institution. So this is the key constitution of OBE. So in that, I am going to discuss the bottom two line. That is the basic one is the course outcome. So that is the base. From that, you are getting the program outcome. From the program outcome, you are getting program education objectives. And then finally, we are going to match with the vision and mission of the department and the institution. So now let us see one by one. What is that? Program educational objectives. So these are the broad statement that describes the career and professional accomplishment that the program is preparing the graduates. PEOs are measured 4 years after graduation. So the best example for this is, you can see the mobile nowadays. So 5 or 6 years before, if you take the number of apps, applications available in the mobile is somewhat less compared to what is now. But now, to take after introduction of IoT concept, the students are making the app according to a requirement. So that is the professional accomplishments. So the knowledge and skill what you are giving, the students should use that as a professional accomplishment, and according to the needs and wants of the society, he has to make the products. So if this accomplishment is fulfilled, definitely there will not be downstream in the engineering course. So for that, every as a teaching professional, we should work for that to make the students to get a very good knowledgeable person. Second is the program outcome. These are the narrow statement that describe what students are expected to do and able to do by the time of graduation. They reflect the 12 graduate aptitude as described by NBA. So that is shown that knowledge base, program analysis, investigation, design, tools, individual and teamwork, communication skills, professionalism, lifelong learning, impact on society, innovation, creativity, collaboration, responsibility, resilience, and evaluate the outcome of the students or graduates. That's the base one, the course outcome. These are our measurable parameters which evaluate each student's performance for each course. So the figure shows on the right hand side, the students is here. You should know as a faculty member where he has to go, what type of knowledge he has to acquire, because you know the different types of learners are there, advanced learners, slow learners, and average. So you should know what for different type of students, what methodology you have to handle such that the knowledge can be transferred. So the students can apply that knowledge and fulfill all the attributes what is told in the program outcome. So here this faculty plays a vital role. For that only I told I have been forced to take this topic course outcome and program outcome because we should know what is a course outcome. So to write a course outcome, the faculty should have a thorough knowledge on the subject. At least you should know what are the applications, the unit wise where you are going to apply the knowledge, what is going to be gained by students. So if you give application oriented teaching, definitely the students will be able to achieve the level what you have fixed. Otherwise, you can't achieve the level. So while you are applying for NBA and all, you should know you have to work for that, how to achieve the attainment level. So in the beginning itself, before going for NBA, if you are very thorough in course outcome, you should know what has to be attained. And these are the different types of students and what I'm going to do for them. If you are thorough in that, automatically all these attainments will be a very easy one to be attained. So for that one day, I took this topic and proceeding further. What are the methods of assessment? The methods of assessment of the candidate during the program are left for the institution to decide. So the various assessment tools for measuring course outcome include mid-semester examination, end-semester examination, tutorials, assignment, project work, labs, presentation, employer and alumni feedback, etc. So these course outcome are mapped to graduate attributes, namely the program outcome. This evaluation pattern helps the institution to measure the program outcome, how much you have attained, or what are the areas to improvement is required. Then you can go for a continuous improvement based on that. The program educational objectives are measured through employee satisfaction survey, alumni survey yearly, placement record, and higher education records. So these are the methods used to assess the outcome. Now let us see one by one what are the graduate attributes. So first of all, as a faculty member, you should know the 12 graduate attributes and what and you have to be very thorough. So how it is going to apply in the subject you are going to handle. Then only the mapping will be very easy for you. For example, first one is the engineering knowledge. Here, what you are going to do, you are going to apply the knowledge of math, science, engineering fundamentals, and an engineering specialization to the solution of complex engineering problem. So you are going to apply the math science to solve a complex or to find the solution for complex engineering problem. The best simple example I can tell now is the COVID period. So a couple of months back, you can see there is a great demand for face mask. So the medical fields, the people are asking those in the engineering college who are having 3D printing can help us. So using the 3D printing, we have make the mask. So this is a simple example where you are going to apply the engineering knowledge to solve the complex engineering problem. So like that, in your subject, you should know the first unit. Okay, what is the PO? It is going to satisfy. How much PO one is going to satisfy? It's low, medium, or high. So that you have to ascertain. That ascertainment can be made only by the faculty who is having a thorough knowledge and having a interest towards the subject. Otherwise, you can't map correctly. Second one is PO2 is program analysis, identifying, formulate, review, research literature, and analyze complex engineering problem, reaching sustained conclusion using first principle of mathematics, natural science, and engineering science. So for this you can see nowadays there is a lot of pollution, but in the COVID period the pollution has completely sustained, and you can see the ozone layer, there is gap also being fulfilled. Similarly, if you want to continue the fossil fuel, the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide emission has to be curtailed. For that, now the Tesla vehicle they are producing e-vehicle. So like that, for complex the problems you have to find the solution, sustained conclusion. So here, sustained means the proven truth. That is, if you are reducing the CO2 or CO emission, automatically the environment pollution can be sustained. That is called sustained conclusion. That is a truth or acceptable one. So you have to see in your course, so how the problem analysis will be there. Then design or development of solution. Design solution for complex engineering problems and design system components or process that meet their specified needs with appropriate consideration for the public health and safety and cultural, societal and environmental condition. So here you have to go into design or development a solution. Now there's a best example. There's a during this COVID period, same thing, both in all over the world as well as in India and some of the places. There's a demand for the mans to supply food to the patient, COVID patients. So we are using the robots. That is the best example. You are designing the thing. So in the shortage of manpower, you are going to use the robot. Similarly, in the Chennai and all, you can see for cleaning the manhole, this is a very dangerous one, septic tank and manhole, because the gases will be there. So you can use the robots to clean it. So you have to design or develop a solution for that. Then conduct investigation of complex problem. The use of research-based knowledge and research methods, including design of experiments, analysis and interpretation of data, and synthesis of information provided to valid conclusion. So here you see the complex investigation of conduct investigation of complex problem. Example, the banking sector. So every now we are using only online. So data handling is a very important thing. If there is any problem, then the whole transaction history will not be there and creates a lot of problem in the society. So the data handling, data manipulation, data validation. This is a very important, simple example during this COVID period. So investigation of complex problem. So all are online now. So you should be very careful how to maintain the data and how you are going to validate the data. Then modern tool usage, create, select and apply appropriate techniques, resource and modern engineering and IT tools, including prediction and modeling for complex engineering activities with an understand of the limitations. So here you are going to use all the softwares for the engineering design using some predetermined standards, whether you are going to attain it or not. So you are using the satellites. So using the satellite, you are going to tell from the June 1, today's newspaper, you can see from June 1, there will be a monsoon in Kerala. So like that, you can use the softwares for things. Similarly, couple of days back, you can see in the Indian Ocean, the plate tectonics, slight movement is there. So like that, you can use the modern tool usage for the society. Then program outcome 6 is the engineer and society. So applying reasoning information by the conceptual knowledge to assess societal health, safety, legal and cultural issues and the consequent responsibility relevant to the professional engineering practice. Here, using the sensors to monitor the environment is a best example. So engineering only is going to use the sensor. So you are going to use the sensor for monitoring the environment. If there is anything is going wrong, that is a pollution control. If you are using a smart city, everything is going to be controlled by means of a sensor. So that is the application of engineering for the societal benefit. It is by safety, legal and cultural issues should not be affected. Then PO7, environment and sustainability. Understand the impact of professional engineering solution in societal and environmental context and demonstrate the knowledge of need of sustainable development. So here you are using, as an engineer, you should be very careful in using the natural resources. Maybe if you are a civil engineer using the extra stand, then now the sand is very rare material now. You are not able to get the sand. You are going to M sand. M sand, you are crushing the rocks from the mountain. So if you are going on doing that without recycling the material, again, there will be a problem. You can't find the mountain at all. It will be vanishing. So you should be very careful in using the natural resources. We should not go against the nature. If you are going against that, then we will be facing a lot of problems. Then ethics, apply ethical principle and commit to professional ethics and responsibility and norms of the engineering practice. Here, the ethics is you should know what is the standard. For example, if an industry, if you are using the manufacturing industry, if you are letting out their waste without any treatment, pre-treatment to the natural water bodies, it is going to affect. So the standard, Indian standards are available. How much treatment? If it is a textile industry, the waste, how much it has to be treated and has to be sent out is there. So that norms has to be practiced. If the engineering is not following the norms, then definitely we will be facing a lot of problem. There will not be any good drinking water or any other purpose will not be solved. So the ethics in engineering has to be properly followed. If you are crossing the ethical limit, then the consequences has to be faced by the human only. Then individual and teamwork. This is very important for any engineer. So function effectively as an individual and a member of a team or leader in a diverse team and in a multidisciplinary setting. So as and when you are completing a computer science course or anything, a student has to be a work as a team member. Then only is going to be individual or a leader. So you should be having a very good teamwork. So you should know how to work in the team. So for that, you should make the students to understand the teamwork. So you should see in a course how the teamwork and individuality can be attained. Then PO10 is communication. Communicate effectively on complex engineering activities with the engineering community and with the society at a large, such as being able to comprehend and write effective reports and design documents, make effective presentation, and give and receive clear instruction. So, as an engineering graduate, communication is very, very important. If the communication is not proper, then definitely you can't get the work done. So, communication is very important. So, you should be able to tell the technicality as well as the execution of work labors. You should be able to work with that. For that, communication is very important. So you can see how far your course, because all the course will not be coming across communication, your course how it is going to play a vital role. Then PO11 is project management and finance. So demonstrate knowledge and understanding of the engineering and management principles and apply this to one's own work as a member and leader in a team to manage project and a multidisciplinary environment. So this also is not applicable for all the course. So where are the courses available, that is management course or some other course, where it is applicable, you have to see how far it is going to be satisfied. It's very important because you should know the engineering and management principles. Then only you can be effective team worker, leader, or anyone in the industry. Lastly, this is a very important one, lifelong learning. So recognize the need for and have the preparation and ability to engage in the independent and lifelong learning in the broadest context of technological change, because now we are in a tech world. So the technology is changing day to day. So you should be able to upgrade, means you should be able to lifelong learning should be there. After graduation, you should not stop learning. So your course, how it is going to be applied, lifelong learning. So that has to be contained. So these are the 12 POs. This only you are going to map into your CO and going to see the attainment level. So if you have a thorough knowledge of these 12 POs, then what are the CO you have framed? Then only you can be comfortable in attaining your attainment. Now the criteria here is course outcome and the program outcome. Before going to mapping, you should be knowing about the Bloom's taxonomy, because based on that only the knowledge level is ascertained and you are going to make the mapping. So Bloom's taxonomy was created in the year 1956 under the leadership of educational psychologist Dr. Benjamin Bloom in order to promote higher forms of thinking in education, such as analyzing and evaluating concept, process, procedure, and principles rather than just remembering fact, that is rote learning. So this is a very important concept. So based on this only, the mapping concept, all this thing has occurred. So for this, I take a very simple example. A student wants to, that is a boy wants to play cricket. So you should know, analyze and evaluate the concept, how to play the cricket. You should know what are the rules in the cricket and what are the process to be followed, and and what are the procedure to be followed, and what is the principles to be followed. Then only you can play the cricket, because you should know if he's a bowler, what type of bowling he has to do. So if he is bowling, how the batsman is going to face his bowling. So all these tactics, this process, procedure, and what is the principle, how the batsman is going to face his ball, that principle should be known. And simple similar example, everyone knows Newton's law of gravitation. So to launch a satellite in the orbit, you are going to use a rocket. So everyone should know what is the escape velocity. So in the school level, they will be studying the Newton's law of gravitation. So we should teach in such a way is able to analyze what is the law and evaluate how it is going to be applied, and what is the process, and what is the procedure in this Newton's law of gravitation, what is the principle behind it. Then only the main concept is this escape velocity. So with so if the rocket is able to move again away from the escape velocity, then only it is safe to place the satellite in the orbit. Otherwise, you can't place it. So that type of learning, that is a correlation between what is learned and how it is going to apply it, that type has been insisted by Bloom's taxonomy. So instead of that, you should not make rote learning. And most of the faculty, including now, so we are making only rote learning. We are in the remind, that is a K1 level only. We are making the students to remember the thing what they are studying. So we have to go for other levels. So for that only, the outcome-based education plays a vital role, and you should have a thorough knowledge and you should be able to apply it. Then only the outcome can be attained. Otherwise, we will be in the first level or second level only. We will not be going to other levels. So other levels means I'm not telling all the students will be in the first or second level. That is, I'm saying average and slow learners, they will not go move up. So to make them to go to other levels, the faculty has to play a vital role. So you should know what is the course outcome, what the students should learn from each unit, and you have to ascertain whether they have achieved it. So for that, you should know the Bloom's taxonomy, then we can make it mapping. So it is most often used when designing educational training and learning processes. You are going to use your Bloom's taxonomy. What are the domains of learning? Learning is everywhere. We can learn mental skill, develop our attitude, and acquire new physical skill as we perform the activities of daily living. So there are three learning domains are there: cognitive domain, knowledge; psychomotor domain, it is skill; and affective domain is attitude. So a very simple examination from the kindergarten I can give here. Cognitive domain is knowledge. So the teacher teaches the kids in the kindergarten that way. Then the psychomotor, using that they are able to repeatedly write the letter A. They came to know this letter A. Then you will appreciate it. The affective domain, that is A for apple. When you are studying that, then only you know what is the attitude. So where you are going to apply it. So like that from engineering also, but mainly we are a constraint as a NBA constraint. Only the cognitive domain. We are not going to talk about the psychomotor as well as the affective domain. Just to know what are the domains available, I have been talking about the cognitive domain. So you can see in the right side figure is thinking and problem solving. It's called the cognitive skill. So encouraging students to think and solve problems methodologically. This is the attitude what the as a faculty we have to develop. Instead of just remembering the facts, we should make them to think what is it, analyze it, and use to solve the problem using applying that. So that methodology way of teaching is called cognitive skill. So that we have to insist because nowadays the students' mindset is completely different. I do agree. This is I'm a teaching field, but it is our duty. At present, if it is 40% means we have to make 60 or 75% students to apply the cognitive skill. Then only the engineering boom will be there. Then only we will be satisfying or 100% fulfilling the job what you are doing. So it is left to the hands of the faculty members to make the students to learn or to grab the knowledge what you are transferring. At least you should transfer or make them to get acquired. So it is the faculty who to motivate the students to attain it. So cognitive domain is intellectual skill, cognitive strategy, and verbal information. Learning outcome example is understanding, problem solving, category, time management, memorization, etc. Then is affective domain. The affective skills and a disposition for appropriate emotions and response. Example is a student of psychology may need to know and demonstrate appropriate emotion response to a future passion statements and action. So this is a psychology training what you are given to a student. Then psychomotor domain, physical actions, reflexes, interpretive movements, and hand-eye coordination. So a students of medicine studying to be a surgeon will need to know how to perform incision as well as be able to perform an incision. So you'll be given the with a postmortem or you'll be going to the labs know how to make a surgeon. So by seeing that you should be able to get so these are the ways how to make a surgery. Then you should be able to perform it. That is called psychomotor, hand-eye coordination. If this coordination is missing, definitely you will not be a become a successful doctor. So these are the different domain which is available. In that we are going to fix only with the cognitive domain. But to know what is the difference between the three domains only, I have been explaining all this thing. Again, if you go for the right figure, you can see the affective domain is emotional growth, interpersonal development is very important. So leading students to be more interactive with the peers so as to have self-confidence to be developed. In the case of psychomotor skill, it is the physical activities in the classroom leading to experimental learning. Now let us see the each domain, what are the thing. The cognitive domain, if you go come from the bottom, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So knowledge is ability to recall data or information. Example is a child resists the English alphabet. That is the basic one. Second is comprehends, the ability to understand the meaning of what is known. Example, a teacher explains a theory in his own words. This is called the comprehensive. Application, the ability to utilize an abstraction or to use knowledge in a new situation. Example, a nurse intern applies what she's learned in psychology class when she talks to patient. This is the examples of application. Analysis, the ability to differentiate facts and opinion. So that's very important. What is a fact? What is the opinion? Fact is very important for all the analysis work. So a lawyer was able to win over a case after recognizing logical fallacies in the reasoning of the offender. Synthesis, ability to integrate different elements or concepts in order to form a sound pattern or structure, so a new meaning can be established. Example, a therapist combines yoga, biofeed, and support group therapy in creating care plan for his patient. This combination of different methodologies is called synthesis. Lastly, evaluation, the ability to come up with judgment about the importance of concepts. A businessman selects the most effective way of selling a product. So these are the 6 levels in the case of the cognitive domain: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Next, we can know what are the levels in the case of affective domain also. Receiving phenomena, the awareness of feeling and emotion, as well as the ability to utilize selected attention. Example, listening attentively to a friend. Then responding to phenomena, active participation of the learner. Participating in the group discussion is called responding. Valuing, the ability to see the worth of something and express it. And person shares his idea on the price of a product. So that is when you are going to a market, we'll know what is the rate of a product. If we suppose, so similar experience is there, you will know the price of the product is very more what the shop seller is selling. Then you can tell them, though the price is more, the product is not up to that mark. So that is called valuing. Then organization, ability to prioritize a value over another and create a unique value system. In a factory, organizing a sequence of production process or production operation is called organization. Lastly, characterization, the ability to internalize values and let them control the person's behavior. Namely, a worker knows how to oblige his manager, not for a looks, but for what he is. That is, responding to a position as a manager, a general manager, to whomsoever. So based on the position, you are going to give the respect and you are going to respond. So if a manager tells, the response will be somewhere higher, and if the same thing is given by the managing director, the response will be completely different. It will be more than a manager. So that's a characterization, how to respond to the commands. So these are the levels in the 5 levels in the case of the affective domain. You are going to receive, you are going to respond, valuing, organization, and characterization. Then the psychomotor domain, this is the levels are perception, the ability to apply sensory information to motor activity. Example, a cook adjusts the heat of stove to achieve the right temperature of the dish. So if you are giving more heat, what happens? So the dish cannot be used, may more heated. Then set, the readiness to act. An obese person displays motivation in performing the planned exercise to reduce his weight. Then guided response, the ability to intimate a displaced behavior or to utilize trial and error. A person follows the manual in operating a machine is the guided response. Mechanism, the ability to convert learned response into habitual action with proficiency and confidence. Example is, a mother was able to cook a delicious meal after practicing how to cook it. Without knowing how to cook it, if they are doing meals, definitely it will not be a delicious food. Then complex overhead response, the ability to skillfully perform complex patterns of action, typing a report on a computer without looking at the keyboard. That is due to repeated response, repeated use of the keyboard. You know what are where the characters are present. You are going to type without seeing the keyboard. That's called complex overhead response. Adaptation, the ability to modify learned skill to meet special events. Example, a designer uses plastic bottle to create a dress. It's called adaptation. Then organization, creating a new movement pattern for a specific situation. A choreographer creates a new dance routine. So these are the different psychomotor domain. So now we have to confirm only with your cognitive domain. So before going to that, we can see Bloom's revised taxonomy. What is that? So the original taxonomy, which is given by the Bloom, is revised by Laurie Anderson, a former student of Bloom, and David Roit revisited the cognitive domain in the mid-90s and made some changes. What this main thing is changing the names in the 6th category from noun to verb, arranging them as shown in the chart, creating a process and levels of knowledge matrix. Example is evaluation. So we can come from the bottom. knowledge to remembering, comprehension to understanding, application to synthesis to creating, and evaluation to evaluating. So they have changed the order. Synthesis they are taken to the top, evaluation they are brought to the bottom, because they evaluate, then you are going to create. So this is the thing what they are done by the Laurie Henderson and the Raoult. So why they are changed? Their main thing they change is they are changed the noun to verb. So you know what is a noun? Is a word used to identify any class of people, places, or things. Verb is word to describe an action. So why they are changed means it should be action instead of identifying. So that is the main aim. For that they have changed the noun to a verb one. So verb is an action. What is to be done to attain. Now let us see this revised cognitive domain in detail. So this part is very important as a faculty member, because so everyone is familiar in how to write a course outcome. So you will be telling the students at the end of this course they able to understand, able to apply. So like that you will be using the word. But according to revised cognitive domain, there are key words to be used for every level. That is called verbs to be used. So that I am going to discuss here. That is very important, because if you are able to know in which level you are going to, your course outcome will be there, either K1, K2, K3, or K4, K5, like that. So then only based on that you have to use the verb what is given there. That is very important, but most of us are omitting that part. So that part has to be given more importance. Then only as a faculty member you can appreciate the concept, and also you can make the students to appreciate the concept. Otherwise, without any effort, if you are writing the course outcome, definitely the outcome cannot be attained. So first one is the remembering, recall or retrieve previous learned information. Example is recite a policy, quote phrases from memory to a customer, recite the safety rules. This is called the examples of remembering. What are the keywords you have to use? Definitely you have to use these keywords only for outcome. Defines, describes, identifies, knows, labels, lists, matches, names, outlines, recalls, recognize, reproduce, selects, states. So these are the keywords you have to use for K1 level when you are writing the outcome. So at the end of the course, the students are able to define the concept or describes the concept. Like that you have to write. You should not understand the concept, because there is no way you have to use the understand. Here's the remaining, it's a basic one. It's a remembering means you have to use only this concept. So technologies is bookmarking, flashcards, rote learning based on repeated reading. These are the examples of the remembering. Second, understanding, comprehending the meaning, translate, interpolation, and interpretation of instruction and problem. State a problem in one's own word is called understanding. Example, explain in one's own words the steps of performing a complex task. Translate a equation into a computer spreadsheet. So the keywords here are comprehends, comprehends, converts, defends, estimates, distinguish, explains, extends, generalize, gives an example, infers, interprets, paraphrases, predicts, rewrites, summarizes, and translates. These are the things what is being used, what has to be used when you are going for a understand stage. So here the example is you are going to translate a equation to a computer spreadsheet. So you are understanding and you are going to apply. That is, you are going to make a computer to do that what is required to be done. So that part is comes under your understanding concept. So technologies used here are create an analogy, participating in cooperative learning, taking notes, storytelling, internet search. This all comes under your understanding. So when you are going to K2 level, that is understanding level, you should use the phrase, that is the verbs, keywords, namely comprehends, converts, defends, distinguish, estimates, like that. So you should not generalize the values of writing. So that's very important here. Then applying, applies what was learned in the classroom into normal situation in the workplace. As I told you, when the nurse and the intern, what they are learned in the psychology of class, they will be applying to how to face the patients in the hospital. Same thing. Example, use a manual to calculate an employee vacation time, applying laws of statistics to evaluate the reliability of a written test. These are some of the example. The keywords K3 level is applies, changes, computes, constructs, demonstrates, discover, manipulates, modifies, operates, predicts, prepares, produces, relates, shows, solves, use, etc. So these are the words to be used, keywords to be used when you are writing a CO for K3 level, then the applying level. Technology is collaborative learning, create a process, blog, practice, etc. Analyzing separates material or concepts into component parts so that its organization structure may be understood. Distinguish between facts and inferences or opinions is the analyzing one. Example, troubleshoot a piece of equipment by using logical deduction, recognize logical fallacies in reasoning, gathers information from a department and selects the required task for training. So you are going to analyze between fact as well as opinion. The keywords should be used here as analyze, breakdown, compares, contrast, diagram, deconstructs, differentiates, discriminates, distinguishes, identifies, illustrates, infers, outlines, relates, selects, and separates. So technology is fishbowl, debating, questioning, what happened, run a test. These are called the analyzing concept. Next is the evaluating thing. Make judgments about the value of idea or materials. Example, select the most effective solution. That is a industry entrepreneur selecting a best way of marketing his product. Hire the most qualified candidate. Explain and justify a new budget. Here the keyword you have to use is appraise, compares, concludes, contracts, criticize, critiques, defends, describes, discriminates, evaluates, explains, interprets, justifies, relates, summarizes, and support. Technologies use survey and blogging. Last one is the creating, that is a K6 level, building a structure or pattern from diverse elements. Put parts together to form a whole with the emphasis on creating a new meaning structure. Write a company operations or process manual. Design a machine to perform a specific task. These are the example. Integration training from several sources to solve a problem. The keywords to be used in K6 level, namely the creating level, is categorize, combines, compiles, composes, creates, devises, designs, explains, generates, modifies, organizes, plans, rearrange, reconstruct, relates, reorganizes, revises, rewrites, summarizes, tells, and writes. Technology is just create a new model, write an essay, network with the other. So, as a faculty member, you should know what is the verb to be used for different level. So, when you are going to write the course outcome, satisfy based on the use the verb and write the outcome. That's very important one. Now let us see the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So in this, K1 is remember. So remember. So what you are going to do is lecture with discussion is the K1 level. K2 is the understand, lecture with demonstration. K3 is apply, tutorials or class in class assignments. K4 is analyze, group discussion, role play, brainstorming assignments. K5 is evaluate, case study, and K6 is the innovation one. So when you are going to level, you can see here knowledge level is K1 to K6. Remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So here remembering you are going to recall facts and basic concepts, understand, explains ideas or concept, applying, use the information in a new way, analyzing, distinguish the different parts, evaluating, justify a stand or decision, creating, create a new product or point of view. So as I told in the first figure which is given above, so K1 you are going to lecture, K2 you are going to lecture with demonstration, K3 we are going to apply, K4 is group discussion. So my humble request, faculty members should make all the types of learners to go at least up to evaluation level. So you should not be kept only in K1 or K2 level. Everyone should go to the higher levels. That should be our main aim. Then only the engineering will be flourishing more. So for this, I can give a best example. Everyone in the electrical engineering, you will be using the Kirchhoff law. So before going as such, the faculty member instead of drawing what is by Kirchhoff law and explaining the circuit, you can tell a brief introduction about the Kirchhoff, his history, and his concept, namely the Kirchhoff current and voltage law, and whether both of things has been applied for electrical circuit. And also you can tell him he's the first person to identify electrical impulse travels with the speed of light. So like that, if an interesting concept has been introduced about the ketchup, then he can get a concept. Oh, these are the thing as did. So it can be applied instead of directly going for the subject. So background can be taught, and then the interest can be created and it can be supplemented to the student. Then only the background or history is supplemented. The students can get more creativity or more interest in the subject, and you can apply it. So for that, I am telling the faculty plays a vital role in creating the course outcome. Now, to explain the COPO mapping, now we are coming to the main module. So I am going to take a simple one, that is friction. Subject under consideration is a friction in engineering mechanics. I'm not going to take more units in engineering mechanics. I'm going to divide friction itself into different modules, because in any subject, if you take a course you take, there will be 5 units. I'm going to divide the friction into 5 modules. Why I am taking very peculiar about friction means it is applicable in all the engineering, and it's also a basic concept which is known by all the engineers and all the participants, because you have been studying this friction from your school age, different grades onwards you have start studying this. So for that, to ease of understand, I am taking the friction concept and going to explain you how to map the CO and PO. So first, this is the 5 modules or 5 units as you take, but I can't take as a unit. I'm telling as a module. Module 1 is a friction and its type, law of friction, coefficient of friction, angle of repose, limiting friction. Module 2 will be equilibrium of a block rising on a rough inclined plane, range of force required to maintain equilibrium of a block on rough inclined plane. Example problem on dry friction. Module 3 is application of friction in the wedges, tutorial on dry and wedge friction, application of friction in ladder, example problem. Module 4 is application of friction in flat and V belts, ratio of belt tension. Module 5 is application of friction in screw jack, terminology in screws, self-locking of screw jack, tutorial on screw jack and belt friction, effort and mechanical advantage and efficiency of screw jack, problems on simple screw jack. So like that, I am dividing as one simple unit into different modules. For that, I am going to match the CO. I am going to write the CO further. So as a simple humble request to all the faculty member at this juncture, even though the in your syllabus, what is given by your university, even though the CO is framed, you please check whether it is online. You can make a modification as per your requirement, because the faculty who is going to handle subject, he will be having a different concept or different approach. So you see whether your CO is as per your approach, or if it is not, you make a small modification. I also request all the HODs to make the faculties, those who are attending here, to make the faculties to orient towards their knowledge dissemination. So that is the CO framing. If they are in line with the CO, then only the dissemination or translation of knowledge will be to 100%. It can be effectively applied. Otherwise, there will be a, so what is already framed, if you are working for that, means sometimes you can attainment will be a problem in that. So you orient the faculty according to their knowledge in the subject. First one is the module 1, friction and its type. Law of friction, coefficient of friction is there. So the CO what I am going to use describes about friction and its type, coefficient of friction and angle of friction. So we'll come in detail why I have given CO1 describes the word as used. Then second model is equilibrium of a block resting on a rough inclined plane. Here the CO2 is predict the force required to maintain a block in equilibrium in an inclined plane. Because the first one I'm using the key verb, namely the verb I'm using is describe. It is a remembrance one, K1 level. The second one I'm using predicts. It is the understanding, that is K2 level, so I am using predicts. Third one is application of friction wedges. Tutorial on dry and wedge friction is there. I'm going to apply the friction concept in wedges and ladder. It is K3 application concept. So I am using the keyword as applies. Module 4 application of friction in flat and V belts, ratio of tension belt. So I am going to use CO4 as relates the application of friction in flat and V belts. It is K5. You are going to evaluate. It is a K5 level. So the keyword I am using is relates. Then module 5 is application of friction in screw jack. Again, you are going to evaluate the application of friction in screw jack. So it is a K5 level, namely they evaluate. So based upon, first of all, you should know the unit. So what it's going to do, whether it is K1 level or K2 level or K3 level, based on that, use the verb or keywords and frame the CO. That is a very important for any faculty member. So this framing can be possible if you are very much having the subject knowledge as well as interest towards the subject. If any one of this is missing, definitely you can't appreciate the, because you can't appreciate the concept. If you are not able to appreciate the concept, then definitely the CO, what you are framing is, will not be uh, effective one. So my humble request, faculty, before framing the CO, please see, learn the what is the unit, see what is the application, whether it's a remembrance one or understanding one or applying one, or you are going to evaluate or you are going to create. So which level is that? Based on that, to frame the CO. Why I'm telling so means then only you can map it, and then only you can attain it, because attainment level has to be fixed and you have to see whether you have attained or not. So this plays, the CO framing plays a vital role. From this you are going to go for other things. If you are making mistake here, then definitely in the further stages, definitely you have to cook up the data so you to get the attainment. So to avoid that, if you are very clear, you are very frank and transparent in framing the CO, and you are very clear what are the knowledge to be gained or knowledge to be transferred to the students, definitely you can attain it. So that is the thing what is required in OB, outcome based education. So that has to be fulfilled by faculty. So as a good teacher, we should be very good in framing the CO. So I'm taking how to make a mapping. That is a CO number. The CO 101.1 is the subject, 101 is the subject, and the first one represents the first CO. Describes about friction and its type, coefficient of friction, and the angle of friction. So the knowledge level I'm going to take as here. First we'll see with the animation. A person is want to pull a block. So he is going to apply a force FA. FF represents the friction force. When the friction force and the applied force FF and FA are equal, the block cannot move. The force applied by the man, if increased beyond FF, the block will start moving. The friction more than frictional force, it will start moving. So this is the basic concept. So everyone in your house itself will be using. When you want to move a table, when you give a light pressure, it will not move. Then if you give heavy pressure, it will start moving. Heavy force, it will be start moving. So it is a basic concept. This is a remembrance. What is meant by friction? So I'm going to give the K1 level for this. So like that, every unit, you please analyze, sit back, analyze what you are going to tell, whether it's a basic concept or that is going to remember, or you are going to apply it, or you are going to evaluate, or you are going to understand it, what, in which ways it falls, or in which level it falls. First of all, you analyze it, sit back, learn what are the topics present in the unit, and see what level it can go. Based on that, you fix your CO. That's a very important one. Second one, subject 101, CO2, predicts the force required to maintain a block in an equilibrium on an inclined plane. You can see when you are loading a truck with a box. So using the crane system, that is not in the figure. So you are going to move it. Now if you want to stand, the frictional force is very more, the block will not move down. But the frictional force is very less, what happens, the block will come down. Similarly, a person moving in an inclined plane, skirting, ice skirting. So when you want to stand still, so at what angle he has to be there, at what angle, at what step he has to stand, then only he can be in a stable position. So this is understanding the concept. So I'm going to give K2 for that. So like that, every unit, you please analyze in which level it will come. Bloom's taxonomy, the cognitive domain, in which level it's going to be there. Third one, knowledge level, applies the friction concept in wedge and a ladder. So you can see there's a axe. So axe is used for cutting the tree. So when you want to cut a coconut tree, so everyone has been practiced this. So you'll be applying the force using the axe at 45-degree, because if you're putting the axe at 90-degree, the force required will be very more, and also the cut made will be very less. So the concept is the friction, the body is going to apply the resistive force. When you are giving some angle, the force what you are going to give more than the frictional force. Similarly, when you are leaning the ladder against the wall, so you should give some a correct angle. It should not be very straight or very steep. Both the cases, very steep or very straight. What happens when you climb the ladder? You will be falling down. So this is a basic concept. You are going to apply it. So I'm going to give the concept number 3. Apply the friction concept in wedges and ladder. So we are going to apply the friction concept there. So it is a applying concept, so K3 level. Then fourth CO relates the application of friction in flat and V belts. So you can see the V belts which have been used in all the machines. So here also friction is going to occur. So here you are going to relate the application of the friction in flat and V belts, because the belt, when it's subjected to more amount of friction, more amount of wear and tear will be there, then the life will become very less. So for that, the frictional force has to be considered. You can see the wave belt, the inner surface will be more smooth and polished. So that concept has to be considered. So you are going to evaluate, it is a K level, K5 level. So like that, every the fourth unit I am going to analyze like that. The fifth module, what I'm going to see is evaluate the application of friction in screw jack. Screw jack you are going to use in the car, buses, everywhere to lift the vehicle. So similarly, you are going to drive a screw inside a wooden or wall by using a screwdriver. So it is evaluate the application of friction in the screw jack, because when you are moving the screw jack, so what force is required? Or similarly, when you are inserting a screw inside a wooden, what is the force required? So this you are going to evaluate the application of friction in the screw jack. So again, it is a K5 level. So here, in this point, I want to tell all the faculty members kindly, when you are seeing going through the CO what is already framed, or when you are going to frame the CO, kindly see which level you are going to apply that unit. So based on that level, you use the verb and or keyword and frame your CO. So thus I have arrayed a table. So if you frame that table like this, it will be better for you to know what knowledge level you want to impact to the student. Is a remembrance one, or you are going to understand, or you are going to apply, or you are going to evaluate. Based on that, you have to make the methodologies, teaching learning process methodology has to be framed. Then only the impact, namely the knowledge transfer, what you are aiming can be attained. Otherwise, you can't attain it. So this type of tabulation has to be formed before you are going for mapping. So what is the K level the each unit is going to fulfill, and what are the teaching learning methodology you are going to apply? If it is correlated, definitely the students attainment level will be there. Now let us see the mapping part. Strength of mapping is defined at three levels: slight, that is low; moderate, medium; sustained, it is high. So you can give number also. Low means 1, medium 2, high is 3. COPO does not map. That is not at all matching. It can become hyphen or 0. So this is the concept everyone knows to you. Now let us see how to map. So I'm going to take the first course outcome, describes about friction and its types, coefficient of friction and angle of friction. So here I make a small table. So that will be better for you. What is the PO? What is a program outcome? What is acceptable or not? What is the level? So you can see the table. I'm taking PO1, engineering knowledge, whether it is applicable to the CO1 or not. Yes. If yes means what is the level? I'm going to 3. Just you can make a small justification, because why I'm insisting this methodology means when you are going for a NBA, that is the valuers, when you are coming, they will be having different mindset and you will be having different mindset. For example, the person who is a computer science, you might be working in the data structure, the person will be a software engineer, so his mindset will be different. So the variation in the mapping will differ. So to make them ascertain what you did is correct, if you are making a thing like this, a tabulation like that will be better. So PO1, it is acceptable or agreeable or not. Agreeable means what is the level, low, medium, high. It is a high. Then you write a small justification. Apply the knowledge of friction to the solution of complex engineering problem. Here I am taking a very simple engineering problem. Everyone in a house, you are having a door or window. The hinges will be there. So when you are having some lot of noise will be there in the hinges due to friction. So you are going to apply the oil. So you are going to apply the engineering knowledge to that, solve the problem of friction in the case of hinges in a door. So it is highly acceptable. So you can give applying oil to the door hinges. So it is a level 3 can be given. Like that, for each and every PO, you give the justification why you are giving one, why you are giving two, why you are giving three. Then everyone will appreciate, because the main conflict between the evaluator and the faculty in this PO/CO mapping, everywhere it is occurring, because you know what is the mark differentiation. For a tier 2 institution, is a 20 mark for establishing the correlation between CO/PO, and for a tier 1 institution, is 25 marks. So the conflict can be resolved if you are giving a very good justification. So that justification can be given if you are more involved and having a very good interest towards the subject. Otherwise, you can't give the correct justification. Then the difference of opinion will prevail between the evaluator versus the faculty. So to overcome that, so to take some time to give the justification why I are given the mark. With some example, if you are giving supporting, that means it will be better for you. Then PO2 problem analysis. Here also I am going to give number 3, because identify, formulate, review research literature, and analyze complex engineering problems created by friction. So best example is wear and tear created in a tire based on number of ply in the tire. Because when you buy a tire, you can see, if everyone might have seen, for two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, how many ply is there? 4, 3 ply. What is the number of ply will be there? Based on the ply, the wear and tear will vary. So that one I have given the diagram. Is a radial body pair, steel belts, nylon overlaid thread will be there. So how much it can withstand, how much life will be there, how much kilometer it can run without getting smoothened, the wheels getting smoother. That plays a vital role. So it describes how the friction and this type plays a vital role. So I'm giving it is highly agreeable. So I'm giving us the 3 as the level. Next is PO3, design and development of solutions. Justification, design solution for complex engineering problem and design system components with appropriate consideration for safety, societal and environmental condition. The lightweight steel ropes used in the crane is an example for that. So it is highly acceptable. And 3, because when you are using the steel ropes in a crane or in your uh, some other pulley system, the wear and tear will be very more. So in the winches and all, you can see if the wire has to be properly maintained. This is a steel wire or some other nylon and all. What happens? It will be easily worn out in a short period. So lightweight steel ropes, if you are using modified nylon materials, if you are using, means the life will be very more. So here also, design and development concept is very important. The friction is very important. That is the basic knowledge of friction is very important. So I am giving the level as 3. Conduct investigation of complex problem. So here, analyze and interpret of data and synthesis of the information to provide valid conclusion for practical problem. Here I am going to tell, olden days you can see if they are using ambassador car, it is fully made up of steel. So the weight of the car is very more, so we can't expect mileage. But now it is not the case. So every company is climbing mileage up to 18 or more. Is a diesel or based on diesel variant or a petrol variant. So what they mean means they reduce the weight of the car by using the external part of the car is made up of steel, and the interior parts they are make use of plastic or fiber. So what happens? The weight of the car has reduced. Ultimately, the mileage has increased. So the conduct of investigation of complex one, because if the weight is increased, again it has to overcome the frictional force. The concept is the frictional force more. If the weight of the car is reduced, the frictional force is also going to reduce. So by that way, the fuel which is required to overcome the friction, and the force required to overcome the frictional losses can be reduced. By that way, the fuel economy is there. So basic concept of friction is applicable here also. Conduct investigation of complex problem. So I am giving 3rd level and this agreeable. Then modern tool usage. So create, select and apply appropriate technique, resource and modern engineering and tools, IT tools, including protection and modeling to complex engineering. Example, studying friction in tires by LAMP software. So the tires are not designed as such. They are using a software called LAMPS. So those are the rubber technology they'll be using about the software. So they'll be designing using the software, the tire, what is the friction developed, what will be life, all this thing will be ascertained using the software tool. Then will we go. So definitely this part is very important. It's agreeable. I'm giving number 3 for this mapping. Then the engineering and society. Apply reasoning by informed by the conceptual knowledge to assess societal health, safety, and legal issues and consequent responsibility. So here, if you want to tell here, design of aircraft to overcome resistance by the air. Here also I am telling number 3 is there because it's very important. If there is more wind velocity, the plane crashes, all these things you are able to see. So at the time, the that is wind force is very more. You will not be operating your flights. So this concept is very important. So the engineering society, the friction plays a vital role because the airflow on the wings also create the frictional force. So the movement of the flight will be hindered. So it is having a very good reliability. So I am giving the level as 3. Then environment and sustainability. Understand the impact of professional engineer solution in societal and environmental context and need for sustainable development. Namely, selecting material for positive displacement from. What is the material you are going to use? Steel or alloy, what or composite, what you are going to use it, such that the environment and sustainability will not be affected. So the selection of material or use of the natural resources, how you are going to utilize it without affecting the environment. So this plays a vital role. So here, in our case, the friction plays a vital role. So if it's made up of steel, the plungers or the that is the in the case of positive displacement, the vanes are made up of steel. Due to friction, the wear and tear will be there. So smooth materials like the alloys, composites can be used for that. So that plays a vital role. So I am accepting to the maximum level. So level is 3. Then ethics. Apply ethical principle and come into professional ethics and the responsibilities and norms of engineering practice. So the friction that only plays a vital role during the rainy season. You can see the road gets damaged with the movement of the vehicle. So in that case, design of poor road, that is a frictional force as well as the impact load during the rainy season has been taken into consideration when you are designing the road. So I am giving number 2 because I can't give more. So if someone can tell, I can't agree, 2 is not the number to be given, it's 1 or 0 to be given. But from my point of view, I'm giving number 2 because I'm a civil engineer. I'm more concerned about the infrastructure. The road is often getting damage like this, what happens? The economy will be affected because you have to spend more amount for that and accidents there. So I am giving number 2 for that. So in that way, you have to interrupt because if the valuer is telling that number should not be given, you should be able to explain why you are given the number. What is the reason for that? As I told you, as an engineer, civil engineer, I should be more bothered about the infrastructure. So I am giving number 2 for that. Then individual and teamwork, that is not going to play any vital role in this. So I'm giving nil, is 0. Then communication, some says that is not required, it is 0. I am climbing 2 by giving a simple example. Communicate effectively on complex engineering activities with the engineering community and with the society at large, such as being able to comprehend and write effective reports and give and receive clear instruction. Example, communication of the flights with the ground station. That is, when there is a lot of wind movement, the communication cannot reach between the ground station and the flight. So that creates a lot of problem. There's a chance for accident or any other thing. So the communication, both I'm telling the communication engineering as well as the response what you got from between the response or communication what is occurring between the ground station as well as the flight. So I am occurring that is the wind flow will make frictional losses between the data, that is the waves which is transmitted. So I'm giving number 2 for that without giving negative or zero value for that. Then project management and financement in the friction part, it is not adding any value, so I become 0. Then lifelong learning, this very important one. Recognize the need for and have the preparation and ability to engage in independent and lifelong learning, the broadcast of the technological change. Example I am taking is a lubricating oil. You can see the type of lubricating oil is goes on changing from time to day. So now they are using nano material, all this thing in the lubricant. So when you are studying about this friction lifelong, the friction is same, but its application, that is how to reduce it. The concept is going on changing. So you have to study lifelong learning. What are the different methodologies to overcome? Best example is lubricating oil. Different types of oil are available for different automotive. So that so in that way, it is highly acceptable and use level number 3. So now let us see the COPO mapping. So I have taken only first one and I have told how I have made the COPO mapping with the justification. So similarly, I'm going to do for all and I'm going to find the average. So I'm going 3, 3, 3 because I made the other for other things. I didn't make the justification or the mapping. Just I given how to make a COPO mapping. The CO C101.1, that is the first CO. The COPO mapping, what I have did is given in the first row. So I have given the justification. I hope I will fulfill your need because a lot of people with a lot of eagerness has registered for this webinar. I think I have fulfilled your needs. That is telling you how to make the COPO mapping. So as a faculty, you should be very clear how to frame the CO. Then how to map it by giving the justification. Then if you are thorough in that, then only we can go for criteria 2, and you can make the teaching learning methodology according to what is required and what is the thing to be learned by students. Based on this, the transformation will be there and the attainment will be there. And one more thing, this is from a journal paper what I have collected. The course outcome are stated for every course during the action verbs of learning levels of Bloom's taxonomy. A course address a set of POs to establish a correlation PO, CO, number of sessions devoted for PO, etc. The correlation level of 1, 2, and 3 slight, that is low, 2 moderate, and 3 high. No correlation is based on the percentage of classroom session they are given. So this is a paper, very good paper you should know, an approach to establish correlation of courses to PO, PSO, and attainment of CO, PO, and PSO. It has been given by H. Jayashree and Kanakadurga from MVSR College, Hyderabad. So what they are telling is, their conclusion is like that only. For CO, PO mapping only I am highlighting. If 40% of the classroom session addressing a particular PO, it is considered that PO is addressed at level 3. If 25 to 40% of PO session addressing a particular PO, it is considered at 2. If 5 to 25% of classroom session addressing a particular PO, it is considered that PO level is 1. Less than 5% of class session is addressing PO, it is considered not addressed as 0. For example, for a particular unit, you are giving 12 hours. More than 6 hours you are going on a particular PO, namely the engineering knowledge. So 6 by 12, it is nearly 50%. So you can give number 3. Based on the same concept only, I also made the mapping. So similarly, you can give mapping. You can use this concept also for giving the mapping. So this is the other methodology which is suggested by the established. But anyway, the faculty should have a dedication towards framing the CO, and you should have a clear idea which level of Bloom's taxonomy you are going to fulfill, and then based on that you're going to map it, and for mapping you give the justification why you have mapped. So with this I close my session. Thus the COPO mapping acts as a base for the calculation of the attainment level, and also for fixing the teaching, learning, and methodology, students' performance, and continuous improvement, all the student support and progression. All these things, the CO plays a vital role. So with this, I conclude my session. Thank you.